or poetry books. You're in here talking about poetry books. Meanwhile, people are dying. Don't you realize? I hear your criticism, Sweet Pea. But, you know, people are always dying. Like, it kind of makes me laugh in that song, Blown in the Wind, from Bob Dylan, where he's all, and how many deaths will it take till we know that too many people have died? I'm like, I feel like you should have gotten more specific here. Otherwise, it kind of sounds like you're just anti-death. You know? That's a crazy sci-fi premise, no death. We're talking about a very crowded planet. Prisma. Here we got Ferlinghetti. He's probably equally famous for founding the City Lights bookstore. Is it still open? I feel like I heard some horrible news story that it had closed. Had a couple of great San Francisco visits to that bookstore. He was like one of the younger beats. Somebody that Allen Ginsberg had got into the fold. He's fictionalized in a lot of Kerouac's books. His Romaniclef autofiction. Iliad. They say you love either the Iliad or the Odyssey, and I'm definitely an Odyssey guy. The Odyssey is the first road story. The Iliad's the first war story. I definitely prefer road stories. But these are both great courses, lecture tape series. I learned so much from both. And if we had all the ancient books, there'd be many more books that would be canonical to this narrative. The one that intrigues me the most was called the Diliad, and it was somebody's record of cowardice throughout the Trojan War, just running from battle to battle and after battle. I think that sounds hilarious. It's a beautiful edition, amazingly not marked up. This is often assigned to college classes, and it seems every other copy I see of this or the Odyssey are just highlighted and marked up like crazy. Alan Dugan, great curmudgeonly modern poet. Here's my favorite. Love song, I and Thou. Nothing is plumb, level, or square. The studs are bowed, the joists are shaky by nature. No piece fits any other piece without a gap or pinch, and bent nails dance all over the surfacing like maggots. By Christ, I am no carpenter. I built the roof for myself, the walls for myself, the floors for myself, and got hung up in it myself. I danced with a purple thumb at this housewarming, drunk with my prime whiskey, rage. Oh, I spat rage's nails into the frame-up of my work. It held, it settled plumb, level, solid, square, and true for that great moment. Then it screamed and went on through, skewing as wrong the other way. God damned it. This is hell, but I planned it. I sought it. I nailed it. And I will live in it until it kills me. I can nail my left palm to the left-hand cross-piece, but I can't do everything myself. I need a hand to nail the right, a help, a love, a you, a wife. Incredible. I once did like a deep dive teaching of that poem in a poetry class, and found out it was very influenced by sort of modern religious philosopher Martin Buber. This I have because it's by James Galvin, who wrote the amazing book The Meadow, which is sort of a fiction-nonfiction hybrid, and its fictional sequel, Fencing the Sky, which is also amazing, but most of what this guy has published is poetry. And so I got some of his poems. What's that? Really ours. Maybe I bought this there. I have a vague memory of a box full of books that are still. Yeah, look at this. Also by James Galvin. Several poetry books. And then prose, The Meadow. No category. Fiction, Fencing the Sky. Good writer. I love The Meadow and Fencing the Sky. The Meadow's kind of a true book about a real place with real people as the characters. And then Fencing the Sky just gives one of those figures a fictional sequel. It's amazing. This is a good one. Good modern collection. Mistaking the Sea for Green Fields by Ashley Capps. Yeah, this one's great. I love it most for its final poem, What Constitutes a Proper Planet. I decided to drive to the beach where I sat in the sand and dug a large hole. There was a tiny translucent crab with eyes like my mother, and such a specific inner life I tossed it fast back into the tide. The sop I scooped out made a kind of wall which slid in on itself if my pace slackened. I had to dig quicker. I dug frantic. Kids appeared with plastic shovels. I wanted to ask them not to collapse it, but they hung back, a cautious tribe. Till at last one poked me with a stick and asked why I was doing that. And I said, to keep the ocean out. And then they all joined in. Here's an oldie but a goodie. Classic, as they say. No, like some ancient medieval stuff, right? Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. The movie The Green Knight was all right. I really liked it in parts, and it made me want to watch more movies based on really old things. This is a nice 1967 paperback. Oh yeah, love that cover. This one's by a friend, Nick DePascal, but he's a good poet. Before You Become Improbable. I think he's got a few poetry books out now. I ran into him recently. He teaches at a local high school and had a super awesome classroom, and we got to hang out and talk a bit. Nick, why aren't you in our writing group? Come to Dirt City. Okay, Currents in Poetry. It's kind of an anthology from a school free pop, but look at that groovy cover. Love it. I want a poster of that. That's fantastic. Ugh. This is by my former brother-in-law. A lot of these poems are about my sister's suicide. It's so good. It could be adapted into a movie. It's beautiful. His parents also died around the same time, and my mom died not too long after. I think all that's in this, and poetry, processing, all that. But this guy is a good poet, Philip White. And I think that's one of the coolest author photos ever. The way it's half the nature out the window and half the books at his back. Like divided worlds that he comes from. This is an excellent poetry collection. I wonder if he has more books now. He's since remarried and has a kid now, and is like, that's a different life, you know. Oh, Richard Wilbur is a fan. That's cool. And then I just added this back to the shelf from currently reading. Though I do want to read this. A Norton Anthology of Poetic Forms. The Norton anthologies are so good. I love them. Oh, marked up. Come on. Hey, Pink Highlighter, do you think you made this book better with this? Come on. That's disappointing, but I'm going to learn from this book, and it still looks nice on the outside. It's kind of intriguing and unclear what it might even be. A Norton Anthology of Poetic Forms. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to love this. But I'm going to leave it on the shelf for now. Really, my to-read list is this whole apartment full of books. Taking some more. I did a reading with this poet long ago. They were known as John Mortara, since renamed Jamie Mortara. And so funny, such a great, lively, poetic presence. Great poetry, read out loud, funny. This poet and I both opened up for bands one night at a house show, this old Albuquerque music venue called Gold House, and it was great. We got standing ovations just doing words. But some of these poems are so fun. They bring in crazy pop culture stuff. Terminator 2 is mentioned in a poem. I'm quickly learning I can't have my moon. You wake in a world where everyone is a robot and they are trying to build humans. I'm under house arrest in my own body. Your house becomes an angry mouth. Good one. Good collection. Tony Hoagland, awesome. May live in Santa Fe, but is a poet for the world. Sent me a really nice email about my own writing. Is a great poet. Whimsical, heartfelt, interesting. Writes good stuff. Kneeling between parked cars. Books become obscure so fast. Found this in some... I think I got it from a free box, honestly. But I grabbed it up. No, I might have bought this. I think I bought this somewhere. It's just too weird. I remember passing it, not wanting to pass it up. And I'm intrigued by some of the poems I've seen in here. I'm intrigued. Also, what? This one, I know it's kind of a classic. There's some people... I was reading something about it a while ago. Apparently the Shropshire Lad poems are a blast for all. Everyone's loved them across time, but I got it because they were mentioned in Roger Zelazny's short story For a Breath I Tarry, which is in here. Oh, also here. This was a textbook for Amy Beater's class at UNM. Contemporary American Poetry. You know, you always learn good stuff from these. I love an anthology. I think that'll be like my late career move when I'm tired of doing stuff. I'll just track down things. Make some cool anthologies. No, but that's an option. Wisława Szymborska. Book of hers I don't know as well, but she's awesome. I think this guy kind of got Me Too'd, this poet, but there's a poem in here I just really love. I wanted to quote it in something. I kind of felt like I got sabotaged by there being a bunch of negative press around him. You know, it's a mix. You got to care about that stuff and not care about it, you know, but I don't pay that close attention to news of the world. And sometimes these things have he said, she said qualities to them, but I honestly can't remember the specifics of this story. But I know there's one poet in here that's just so effective. Repeats the word shadows a lot. That's good stuff. This one, Returning to Church, classic. Maybe a response to Mary Oliver right here. I love this image of the ground beneath somebody walking. Our boots, white, then dirt, white, then concrete. Albuquerque's own Jimmy Santiago Baca. Great poet. Happens to be from here. It's amazing. Oh, here's more about him. He's awesome. My daughter Anodyne just read his memoir and is like a super fan of his right now. This is hyper-local writing, but I think it resonates beyond the Rio Grande Valley. This video is only 11 minutes long so far. I might as well finish off the poetry shelf. Okay, here's another good anthology. This one's got a ribbon bookmarker in it, which I think is classy. Hello. I remember this one being slightly controversial when it came out because people were like saying Rita Dove didn't make it diverse enough. It seems pretty good. I was in a poetry class at the time and everybody was like, it seems fine. Pretty much. But, you know, no anthology can contain everything. It's impossible. This one, amazing. A lot of these books I've looked at before and told stories about before. This one has an epic tale from my life. Uh-oh. I got the right copy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I met this heroin addict dude who was amazing at playing Delta Blues slide guitar. And he was a book thief. I didn't really ask him to, but he stole me some books. This was one of them. Make your way across the sacred desert. He signed off. I've always wanted to run into this guy again. Surprisingly, I haven't in Albuquerque. This was back in like the year 2000, or 1999 even. Remember, he told me Albuquerque's half criminals and half artists, and I'm in both worlds. It's an interesting book and a good series overall, but its idea of outlaw is much more attitudinal. It's some sort of like apolitical rebellion, you know, rebel without a cause, biker gang, don't tread on me type, but like including writers as like diverse as Bukowski and others. But it's not really about innovation in form. You're not going to see people upsetting the world too much, other than that some of their poems are written on bathroom walls and wadded up pieces of paper and, you know, broadening what's acceptable. Another cool anthology with a classic design. Look at this thing. Poetry in 6 dimensions. 20th century voices. Oh, yeah. All kinds of stuff here. If you read any one of these anthologies, you would be leveled up. Now, here's one of the rare anthologies I've actually read in this pile. I read a library copy of this, not this one. I since special ordered it and bought it. But I loved it. It influenced me so much. This, like, changed my writing for months and months afterward, for like a couple of years, honestly. Postmodern American poetry. This freed me. This loosened me up. It like broke something loose. I should reread it. This is like poetry. This is post-lyrical vocal poetry. Poetry for the written age. Poetry for the page. There's so much interesting stuff in here, and there's a great section on poetics. Track this one down. This made me love poetry, postmodernism, postmodern poetry, American poetry. Broke open my thinking, made me write some very different chapters. I have a chapter of book 1 of my book, and I'm probably going to have a similar one in book 2. I know I will. Where I take all the chapter titles at the end and make them the titles for poems. But I had just read this and some other things like it. And so they're pretty far out. Got the videos I have about my memoir, like one of the last ones, if you want to see a chapter on that. I mean, a bit about that chapter. Speaking of anthologies that have good poetics sections, here's one about avant-garde poetics of the 90s. Oh, it's all poetics. So this is like interviews and discussions, some poems, with cool weirdo 90s poets. I bet like Lynn Higinian's in here and people like that. Okay, I don't see her, but it looks interesting. Okay, so poetry. What's your poetry shelf like? Are there books that jump out at you that make you want to read them? Nick Hornby says he reads poems whenever he's waiting for somebody. I'm like, that's cool. Like when his wife's getting ready for something, he'll just read one poem. What all was in those books? Oh, that's a book recommend. Stalking the Wild Pendulum. Yeah, I've heard that book is far out, man. I would definitely go in the weird books section if I owned that one. All about consciousness and time and space. Far out, crazy, groovy stuff. A song lyric for a forgotten song. I don't remember the melody, though. If there's a trick, I don't know it. If there's a way, it's some other way. That's pretty good. I like that. Oh, roofing pros. Yeah, I could. That's a good idea. I'll get a new roof on the apartment I rent. Rail Yards Market. Used to explore the old rail yards buildings. Just these incredible ruins in old downtown New Albuquerque. Now they've been developed. If you want to see them, watch Terminator Salvation, Breaking Bad, any movie where there's a warehouse and there's colorful panes of glass in the background where some of the panes are green. Long ago, I had the idea of putting together a music festival and getting it booked there. Well, say what you will about poetry, but I bet if you had gotten those two Columbine shooter kids to read all these poetry books right here in the 2 or 3 years before they set out to do what they did, it would have changed them. They wouldn't have done it. They would have written poems and expressed their feelings. I jest, of course, but, you know, having poetry in your life, it does do something, you know? It means, I don't know, it means you have room for beauty and expression and vulnerability and good stuff. Okay, we've looked at those genre books up there. We've looked at these poetry books. Continuing on, the new bookcase in the hallway. Next, philosophy, one of the weirder, squishier sections. Okay, and I suppose we might as well look at the notebooks in there sometime. Utility, drama. We'll skip around. We'll come back to this. Philosophy sounds like kind of heavy right now. Well, poetry, you know. Hard to pick favorites, but these ones I pulled out here are definitely some. This anthology, Postmodern American Poetry. Philip White, Wisława Szymborska, William Blake. That's probably the next poetry book I'm going to read. E. Cummings, 73 poems. Leaves of Grass. Oh, and I want to read this book about Ovid. That it's got his poetry and verse in it, but it has essays around it too that'll help me because it's old. We just looked at 45 poetry books right here. If you watch the 3 videos with poetry in their title that I posted recently, you've seen this collection's whole poetry collection. It's probably not like a good representative collection of what's out there, you know? It's a strange shape. I'm sure there's many continents and impressive bodies of poetic work that are not really included here. Maybe if you make poetry your life, you gotta make it your life. The rest of us are mere dabblers. After I read Irrational Judgments about the conceptual art movement, I felt like I was more of a conceptual artist than a writer. I'm like, I just follow my work wherever it takes me. Sometimes my writing has images. That's not exactly writing. And since we're talking poetry, I think I've got a poetry book or two on my currently reading shelf. Well, I've got Gilgamesh, but this looks like a prose translation. Got this book of Chaucer criticism I've begun, but it's about poetry. Oh, and I've got this one, which I bought new because I met the poet, and she was really cool, and I know her brother all right. He's very cool, and I really like what I've read in here. I'll talk about this more in the future or after I've read the whole thing. Lungs by Sarah Doolittle. I get the sense there's some autobiographical things here. I like how there's illustrations throughout. It's really neat. And I'm going to do a literary salon in this apartment eventually, and I want to know local writers to invite to have read, etc. Poetry, you know. Some people say it should be illegal, but I disagree. Not illegal, but regulated, okay? Every poem has to be run by 3 police, each from a different branch. Trust me, this will be good. Cops will be too busy reading poems, see? All right, I guess we'll look at philosophy next. Poetry. Maybe I should write some poetry. I write songs once in a while. Not so much with the poems. My car's in the shop. Gotta figure out how to pay for it. Ugh. Life, you know? All right. I gotta get to writing. Hope you're all doing good. Rock and roll. Take care, everybody. If you want, PayPal me at Michael Farrell Smith. Nobody has in a long time, but if you did, that would be cool. That's at Michael Farrell Smith. And if you do, I'll mention you in my book somehow. I'll find some clever way. All right, folks. Take care.